Not.
Okay, what are the difficulties you will face? You've heard the Chief Electoral Officer saying that, okay, something is better than nothing. But to what extent are you going to be hit by the election dates and by the campaigning that will start before the 13th?
I think it's too difficult to prepare, though it's long of 200 meters apart.
All right.
Hello?
Okay, let's also go across to Mr. Ramesh, who's a concerned parent. Mr. Ramesh, loudspeakers are a problem throughout. I mean, there are festivals, there are processions taken out, but this is a sustained campaign. It's going to be a high voltage campaign. How concerned are you as a parent, and how are you now that it's final that there's no change in the election dates? How are you planning to actually tackle this issue at home?
Yeah, to be very frank, distractions are not new to our students. We have distractions always. In fact, to be very frank with you, this cricket match ICC, which is going on for the past 1 month, which has started, and every time, unfortunately, these cricket matches are fixed only during this time, every 4 years or so. No one bothers about these things. That is a worse distraction than just elections. The elections comes once in 5 years. But if we don't want, the students are not drawn towards election meetings or these noises, but they are drawn to the cricket match right in their living rooms. So that is a worst distraction. But anyway, I am happy that the court has come out with certain restrictions. If only the election commission can be more strict with all the parties and adhere to all these restrictions which the court has given, I think it should not be a problem.
All right. Mr. Abdul Salim, at least this time around, for other occasions, you don't really have an election commission, you don't have a watchdog. At least this time around, the silver lining is that there is a body to actually, how it works on the ground, we really will have to wait and see. But at least somebody to crack the whip to some extent, just a sort of moral support or some kind of consolation at least for students.
Of course, the court has come to our rescue. But then one more aspect we'll have to take into consideration is that the polling is on the 13th of April. And the examinations are going to get over on the 11th of April. So there's only 1 day in between. And the election commission no doubt will not disturb the teachers as per the orders of the court. But they have to make arrangements for the polling booths in the school. So 1 week in advance, they will come to the school. The election commission officials, the police officials, they will come to the school. They will survey, inspect, make security arrangements, create arrangements for the polling booths. And in such circumstances, the students who are giving their examinations in the school will definitely be
How many such schools are polling centers?
Almost all the government schools in all the villages all over Tamil Nadu are used as polling booths.
So what you are saying is something more serious, that even in terms of security arrangements, there could be a dampener on that, because again, when students are writing exams, you really will not have that complete access to the school.
Of course. And students, while giving examinations, will certainly be disturbed by the hustle and bustle which is going to take place when these officials go there and inspect for making arrangements for the polling booths.
All right, I want to get back to the issue of noise itself. To Mr. Praveen Kumar, sir, how do you actually propose to regulate loudspeakers? Because we do know that cone loudspeakers are banned, but it's flouted with impunity everywhere, at every street corner as we drive out, and as I go out of the studio, also here on my way back home, I will hear those cone loudspeakers. Also, the certain number of decibels levels that have been in fact prescribed. How are you really going to do this apart from all the other things that you have to crack the whip about this time around, sir?
There already some restrictions are there on the use of loudspeakers, that they can't be used after 10 o'clock in the night. So that is being imposed strictly, and now everyone has come to accept it. Other thing is that there are some environmental decibel restrictions on how much decibel is allowed. So that also will try to impose, ask the Pollution Control Board and other environmental agencies to see that this decibel restrictions are not violated.
All right, another issue, related issue that the petitioner's advocate, Mr. Salim, was actually pointing out. The Election Commission, sir, has said that teachers will be trained on Sundays. But the High Court has issued a directive that you should not disturb them till the 11th of April. That's just 48 hours before that big election takes place. Do you see this as a practical issue here?
No, let us see exact order of the High Court. I have not yet received the exact order of the High Court. Based on that, our next steps will be there. It's too premature for me to comment on this point.
All right, too premature at this stage. But thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your time. We know how busy you are at this time. Of course, the Election Commission will have to go through the normal process of getting a certified copy of the judgment, which may take about maybe a day or two, or perhaps a little more than that. He has his apprehension that he doesn't know what exactly is the court said about the teachers, because there is that practical difficulty here now, if you can only relieve them by the 11th.
Yeah, even I have not seen the order, but what the court has said in the order is that the teachers who are involved in the examination process should not be disturbed till the exams are over for election training or for deployed for election duty. So till 11th of April, the teachers cannot be disturbed at any rate.
All right. Let me go back to Joshika. Joshika, I mean, we all know that although we all, as students, I've done that too myself, chalk out an ambitious timetable before exams during the study holidays, but not all of us really study during study holidays. So it actually boils down to those last few days before the given exam. How are students now reacting? Not just you, but also your classmates, your friends in other classes, writing other exams as well. What do they have to say? What is the chat like in the canteens and, you know, before the bell rings in your class?
Sorry, I can't get your question.
All right, Joshika, I was trying to ask you, what is the talk among students, not just you, but the talk among your friends in school, among your classmates, especially the discussion that you'll have in the canteen before the bell rings, before the teacher comes into the class. What do you all have to say about the exam dates, and how are you planning to cope with, given the reality that exams will not be postponed, elections will not be postponed, you'll have to write them in the midst of election campaigning?
Yeah, actually we used to set schedules for learning, and there's nothing disturbance with us.
All right, clearly, I mean, student quite probably preoccupied there trying to figure out that exam timetable. A final question, final word to you, Mr. Ramesh. What are the steps you're planning to take at home to ensure that your children actually beat the election blues, as it were?
Yeah, I fortunately have only my son now preparing for the exam, and because of this continuous compulsory evaluation, throughout the year he has been writing various tests and preparing continuously. So I don't think he is finding it that difficult, because he has come to the last, almost the exams will get over before the elections actually. So in my case, it is not, as I told you, this is not a worse distraction than the cricket match or other which we have. Usually, as you said, the songs and the cone speakers from the religious places, which is throughout the year. So this is, I think we can get over it, tolerate this one.
All right, a very understanding parent there, also perhaps realistic, reconciling himself to his fate, as it were, that of his son there.
Important for us, that's why. This is also important for us.
Also important for us.
Yes.
So, cricket match is worse than election.
Yes, definitely.
See, already the students are in the
There's
midst
also a threat now to the stadium, the general alert issued.
Of course. Already the students are in the midst of World Cup fever, the exam fever. So, it will be too much for the students to handle the election fever. The Election Commission, no doubt the elections are important, of utmost importance, but then the children's education should not be neglected. The Election Commission should create a balance between both, so that none of the two are affected.
The fact is that these children who will be affected are not voters. They don't really form a vote bank. Thank you very much, Mr. Abdul Salim, for joining us. Thank you, Joshika, and thank you, Mr. Ramesh, for joining us, and also to Mr. Praveen Kumar, Chief Electoral Officer, for having spared time to be on this bulletin. Evelyn?
Thanks very much, Sanjay. As much as everybody's taken a bashing at the cricket matches today, but the good news coming in from Firoz Shah Kotla is that the men in blue have managed to squeeze the Orange Army. So more from that match, from the Indian win, coming our way on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.